Hello and welcome to the 2 Degrees Roundup, the fortnightly digest of what's happening on 2 Degrees, the world's biggest and best community for sustainable business professionals. I'm Tom Idle, I'm the editor of 2 Degrees, and I'm joined today by my community team. So we have Lucinda Broad.
Hello.
And we have Vanessa Delgado.
Hi.
And we also have Stephen Kennett.
Hello.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves. Lucinda, you go first.
Yeah, sure. So I am the community manager for 6 groups on the site. The main ones are energy and carbon management, renewable power for business, and employee engagement. And I'm particularly interested in your tips around how to engage stakeholders on sustainability.
And Vanessa?
Hi, I'm also a community manager on 2 Degrees. My main ones are water risk and strategy, supply chain, managing sustainability, and the 2 smaller groups are transport and logistics and sustainability reporting. Basically, I'm interested in supply chain strategies, water management stories, and stories on leadership and sustainability. Those are pretty much the big ones that I have.
And Stephen Kennett?
Hi, I'm Stephen and I'm the Community Manager for the Built Environment Working Group, the Smart Cities Working Group and the Waste Management Working Group. I'm interested in a range of things, so waste strategies and challenges which you're facing, low carbon buildings, particularly around the commercial sector, and smart cities and the trends around things like technology and urban planning.
Great stuff, thank you. And so let's talk about what's happening on the 2 Degrees platform and what's coming up over the next few weeks and months. You might have noticed that we've got very excited in the last few days about the very first 2 Degrees Sustainability Champions Awards. We launched them back in December and voting has just gone live on the site. And this is about rewarding the very best examples of sustainable business best practice that's happening right now across the world. From energy, water, waste, through to communications, engagement, strategy. And this is very much an award scheme that's about rewarding the people behind the stories. So it's a very personal award scheme. We're trying to find the real champions in sustainable business right now. So how do we get to choose the winners? Well, we don't, you do. So the voting is very much up to you, our 2 Degrees members. There's no stuffy judging panel to be found. So what we've done, we've posted all of the entries across the 2 Degrees platform, and we're asking you to get involved, to read and ultimately vote on your ultimate winners. Voting is open for the next 3 and a bit weeks, and then we'll be closing the votes and we'll be counting up the votes we've had, and then we'll be creating a shortlist for each category and then opening up voting again for another month that takes us towards the end of May. And then we'll be picking our winners at a live ceremony in July. So all the details of the 2 Degrees Sustainability Champions Awards are on the website. Just go to 2degreesnetwork.com/awards and you'll find out all the details. So other highlights for me in the coming weeks include the continuation of Mike Townsend's brilliant series on sustainable business strategies. His latest post, which is part 3, looks at the importance of ownership models, so make sure you check that out. And I've also been speaking to some great companies over the last couple of weeks. So last month I sat down with Ramon Aratia, who's the Sustainability Director at Interface, and we talked about the company's focus on product sustainability and life cycle assessments. So we recorded that conversation as part of our Tell Me More series. And for those of you that missed that live and interactive session, we did actually record a video, so do find that in the Managing Sustainability Working Group. And just last week I travelled down to Bristol to meet with Triodos, a sustainable bank, which is a bank that only lends money to sustainable projects or companies. And it even has its entire loan book publicly available on its website, so you can see exactly where its money is being spent. Fantastic story. 2 wonderful examples there of innovation and best practice, so make sure you do check out those videos. The interface video, as I say, is available on the Managing Sustainability Working Group right now. The Triodos video will be available early next week, so look out for that. So what else is going on across the platform? Vanessa, let's start with you. What's happening with your communities right now?
Okay, well, basically, on the Managing Sustainability Working Group, we actually have an interesting new discussion that was started. So let's see if I can post it onto the screen here, actually. So this is how can utility companies and SMEs work together. It was brought up by one of our members from a recent webinar, and he just basically had a question about utility companies and SMEs. So if anybody out there actually has some interesting input on this, or just about collaboration, business models, things that we should practice that would be good working with companies that are a bit different from one another, I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. The other bit is actually about a webinar that we had the other day with John Elkington. So if you look on the screen, it actually shows where you can find the webinar. So it's a webinar recording on breakthrough capitalism. It was a really interesting webinar, and it had a lot to say about innovation, what's happening right now in the sustainability world, and what should be happening up ahead. So right now we're in an incremental phase, kind of making a few different changes bit by bit, but we should be kind of going past that. So if that's of interest to anyone, or if you missed the session, you can go ahead and catch it on the Managing Sustainability group. It's already live. And for the final bit, we're starting a bunch of new different kinds of features, fun little bits and pieces. One that was recently posted up was what's inside your coffee cup. It's really just a snapshot of things that go into your cup of coffee, so just beans, water, whatever else, and the challenges that companies face when making a sustainable cup of coffee. So it's just something to have a look at and to share and throw around. And if you know of any other challenges or kind of have something to contribute to that, then that'd be great to hear what you have to say. So that's pretty much all that's going on at the moment.
Great stuff. Okay, thanks, Vanessa. Lucinda, what about you?
Yeah, so I've got some great discussions going on in my groups at the moment. One of our members who's in the fashion retail industry is really keen to understand how other people are engaging with geographically dispersed employees. And she's particularly keen to understand how you break down the language barrier and how you deal with different teams, considering some are going to be more advanced in their sustainability journey than others. And we've also got discussions about energy service companies. So what are your thoughts on energy service companies? Have you experienced those yourself? And also energy monitoring in small offices. So a lot of discussion is around big corporates and what they're doing, but have you got any experience of energy monitoring in smaller businesses? And we've also got the first pick of the week for our employee engagement group, which is from American Licorice, so do check that out. And if you've got any photos from your own employee engagement initiatives, do send them over and we'll highlight those on the site for you.
Okay, thanks, Lucinda. What about you, Stephen? What's happening right now in your communities?
Well, we've got some great stuff going on at the moment. We've got 3 good discussions going. 2 of those are in the Built Environment Working Group, and they're around energy displays. So the best way to procure energy displays and the best ways to display information. And they came off the back of a recent webinar we did with Tesco, who are using energy display boards in their stores to engage staff and drive down energy consumption. Another discussion we've got on the go at the moment is in our Waste Management Working Group, and that's looking at alternatives to polystyrene. So somebody from GSK is looking to replace the use of polystyrene food trays in their canteen, and they're looking for suggestions from members to what they can use to replace those. We've also got a great piece in the Built Environment Working Group. It's 10 top tips on how to implement sustainability in commercial buildings. And finally, we've got a couple of pieces on a new World Green Building Council report, which is around building the business case for sustainable buildings and offices, which is a really in-depth study and has got some really interesting facts from around the world on the business case for green buildings.
Great stuff. Thank you, Stephen. So as you can see, lots and lots of great stuff going on across the 2 Degrees community. So make sure you check out lots of activity over the coming weeks. As ever, make sure you get involved. Send us a blog, start a discussion, get involved in some of the conversations, and make the most of your community. We really want to see you active and engaged on there. And of course, if there's anything you need help with, then do get in touch with one of the team here and myself, and we'll be sure to help you. We'll be back in 2 weeks, so until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you.